In a grand hall, the Galactic Council gathered to discuss the latest news from across the universe. Delegates from many different worlds sat at a long table, their faces serious. They talked about wars, trade agreements, and new technologies. The council, made up of representatives from various species, had one goal: to keep the peace in the galaxy. However, today's meeting felt different. As the discussions continued, a representative from the Veridax system, a planet known for its brilliant scientists, stood up. "Honorable members of the council," she began, her voice steady yet full of excitement. "I bring urgent news from Earth." The room grew quiet, every eye turning toward her. Earth was known as a small, unimportant planet, mostly populated by humans who were still learning about the universe. Many council members thought of them as primitive and unworthy of serious attention. "The humans have made a groundbreaking discovery," the Veridax representative continued. "They have developed pocket dimension technology." A murmur ran through the room. The term pocket dimension was new to most of them. It sounded strange and complex, yet intriguing. "What does this mean?" asked a tall, blue-skinned delegate from the Alvian Empire, his tone skeptical. "Are they really capable of such a feat?" The Veridax representative nodded. "Yes, they can create small dimensions that can hold much more than they appear. Imagine a suitcase that can fit a whole spaceship. They can hide objects in these dimensions, making them almost impossible to find." "It changes everything!" The room buzzed with mixed reactions. Some were fascinated by the idea, while others were filled with doubt. The council had faced threats from other species before, but humans had never been a concern. Now the thought of them wielding such power made many uneasy. A representative from the Caltarian race, known for their cunning tactics, leaned forward. "If humans can master this technology, they could easily become a dominant force. We must act quickly." His words sparked heated debates among the delegates. Some called for caution, while others demanded immediate action against the humans. In the corner of the room, a young diplomat named Alira observed the chaos. She was a human ambassador, one of the few humans to sit in the council. Alira felt a mix of pride and fear. The humans had achieved something remarkable, but she could sense the growing hostility in the room. If the council decided to see humans as a threat, it could lead to disaster. "We must learn more about this technology before jumping to conclusions." Alira spoke up, her voice calm yet firm. "This could be an opportunity for cooperation rather than conflict. We can show the council that humans are not a threat, but potential allies." Her words were met with both support and skepticism. Some delegates nodded in agreement, while others shook their heads, dismissing her view. The debate raged on, but Alira knew she had to do something. She couldn't let fear dictate their actions. As the meeting continued, Alira thought of how to prove that humans could be trusted. She remembered her childhood dreams of exploring the stars and how far her people had come. If the council could see that humans had the same hopes and dreams, perhaps they could forge a new path together. The session ended without any resolution. The delegates filed out, their faces still tense with worry. Alira lingered, determined to find a way to change their minds. She believed in her people and knew they could bring something valuable to the galaxy. Later that day, Alira sat in her chambers, reviewing the reports on pocket dimension technology. The more she read, the more excited she became. This could change everything for her species. But the council's fear remained a shadow over her thoughts. She needed to act fast. As night fell, Alira devised a plan. She would organize a demonstration of the pocket dimension technology and invite the council members to witness it for themselves. This could be the chance she needed to show the council that humans were not to be feared, but embraced. With renewed hope, she began writing invitations, knowing that the future of humanity and their relationship with the Galactic Council depended on the outcome of this demonstration. The day of the demonstration had finally arrived. The atmosphere was tense as members of the Galactic Council gathered at a vast, open area near Earth's main research facility. Alira, the human ambassador, stood at the front, her heart racing with excitement and anxiety. Today was her chance to show the galaxy what humans could do. As the delegates arrived, Alira greeted them with a warm smile, hoping to ease their fears. The council members looked around, their expressions a mix of curiosity and skepticism. They were not used to being impressed by humans, and Alira felt the weight of their expectations on her shoulders. The first demonstration was about to begin. Alira motioned to her team, and a large box was brought forward. It looked ordinary, but Alira knew it held something extraordinary inside. She explained to the audience, "Today, we will show you how pocket dimensions work. Inside this box, we have created a small pocket dimension that can hold far more than it seems." The delegates exchanged whispers, their faces reflecting doubt. Alira took a deep breath and continued. "Let me show you." With a wave of her hand, she opened the box, revealing a swirling portal of bright light. Gasps filled the air as the council members leaned forward, eyes wide in astonishment. Alira reached inside the box and pulled out a tiny model spaceship, no larger than her hand. "This is our research vessel, the SS Voyager," she said. "Now watch closely." She placed the model back into the box and, with a simple gesture, closed the lid. A moment later, Alira opened the box again, and to everyone's shock, a full-sized version of the SS Voyager emerged, shining under the sunlight. The council members stared in disbelief, their mouths agape. It was as if magic had come to life. "This is just a demonstration," Alira said, smiling broadly. "Imagine what we can do with larger objects." As the crowd buzzed with excitement, she continued the show. Alira led them to another area where they had set up several smaller boxes. Each one contained various objects, food, weapons, and even a small alien creature from a nearby planet. One by one, Alira showcased how each item could be stored and retrieved from pocket dimensions, leaving the delegates amazed at the technology. "Imagine a military fleet that can hide within these dimensions," she explained, "or storage facilities that can hold entire cities without taking up space." The idea began to sink in, and a few delegates whispered to each other, their expressions shifting from skepticism to intrigue. One of the council members, a stern-looking leader from the Raxal race, raised his hand. "Can this technology be weaponized?" he asked, his voice sharp. Alira knew this question would come. "It can be," she replied honestly, "but our goal is to use it for peaceful purposes. We believe in collaboration rather than conflict. We want to share this technology for the benefit of all." The Raxal leader nodded, but his eyes remained cautious. Alira understood his hesitation. The fear of the unknown was powerful, especially in a galaxy filled with conflict. She needed to reassure them. Next, Alira invited volunteers from the council to try the technology themselves. Hesitant at first, a few brave delegates stepped forward. They were amazed when they successfully retrieved items from the boxes, their fears slowly fading away. Laughter and excitement filled the air as the mood shifted. With each demonstration, Alira felt more confident. She could see the delegates warming up to the idea of cooperation. This was not just about technology, it was about trust. Humans were proving they could contribute to the greater good. As the show came to an end, Alira addressed the crowd one last time. "Thank you for joining us today. We hope you can see the potential in this technology. Together we can build a better future for everyone in the galaxy." Applause erupted from the audience. Council members exchanged smiles, and Alira felt a surge of hope. The once doubtful delegates were beginning to see humans in a new light. As the council members left the demonstration area, conversations buzzed with excitement about the possibilities ahead. Alira knew this was just the beginning. The path to building trust would be long, but today had been a significant step forward. She smiled, feeling proud of her people and the future they could create together. After the incredible demonstration, the mood in the Galactic Council had shifted. Delegates who once looked at humans with disdain now viewed them with a mix of curiosity and cautious admiration. However, not everyone felt this way. In the shadows of the council chamber, fear and doubt simmered beneath the surface, threatening to disrupt the fragile trust that had begun to form. As the council members returned to their home planets, discussions about humans and their pocket dimension technology filled the air. Some leaders felt the need to act quickly. "We cannot let them become too powerful," whispered Varric, a cunning delegate from the Caltarian race, during a private meeting with his fellow council members. "What if they use this technology to hide their military fleets? We must strike before they have a chance to unleash their true potential." The other members nodded, sensing the weight of Varric's words. Tension was rising among those who feared that humanity's newfound abilities could shift the balance of power in the galaxy. They believed that if they didn't act soon, the humans might dominate the council, and that was unacceptable. Meanwhile, Alira, the human ambassador, sensed the unease growing within the council. She had heard whispers of fear from some delegates and felt the heaviness in the air. To her, the path to cooperation seemed clear, but she knew that misunderstandings could easily lead to conflict. Alira spent her days meeting with council members, sharing knowledge and emphasizing the importance of unity. However, her efforts were met with mixed reactions. One evening, during a council session, a heated debate broke out. A delegate from the Zenthari system stood up and raised his voice. "We must prepare for war! We cannot let these humans gain an advantage over us." His eyes sparkled with anger, and the room erupted in noise as different factions began shouting over each other. Alira stood at the back, feeling her heart race. She knew she had to intervene before things escalated. "Please, everyone," she called out, trying to quiet the chaos. "We have only just begun to understand each other. Let's not jump to conclusions. War will only bring more suffering." But her words fell on deaf ears. The fear and anger were palpable. Some delegates were already drafting plans to gather a fleet ready to confront the humans before they could unleash their technology. The Kaltarians and Zenthari formed an alliance, secretly plotting to attack Earth, believing it was the only way to protect themselves. Back on Earth, Alira shared her concerns with her team. "We need to show them that humans are not a threat," she said, pacing the room. "But I don't know how to change their minds when they are filled with fear." A scientist named Dr. Kell, who had worked closely with Alira, offered a suggestion. "What if we invite the council for another demonstration? But this time, we show them not only our technology but also our peaceful intentions? We can even include leaders from different species to showcase our commitment to collaboration." Alira felt a spark of hope at the idea. "That could work! If we can get them to see us as allies rather than enemies, maybe we can prevent conflict." The next day, Alira sent out invitations to the leaders of the Galactic Council. She arranged for a special event where representatives from various planets could come to Earth and witness the potential for cooperation. The invitation read, "Join us for a day of unity and exploration, where we can all learn from each other." However, as the invitations were sent out, Alira knew that time was not on their side. The Kaltarians and Zenthari were not willing to wait. In secret, they finalized their plans for an attack, hoping to catch the humans off guard. They believed that once they struck, the other council members would see their actions as justified. The day of the event drew closer, and Alira felt the weight of uncertainty. She knew that her people had to be ready for anything. As she prepared for the gathering, she couldn't shake the feeling that tensions were spiraling out of control. Would her efforts be enough to prevent war, or was it already too late? The fate of the humans hung in the balance, and the galaxy watched, waiting to see if this new chapter would end in cooperation or conflict. The day of the gathering had finally arrived, but the atmosphere was thick with tension. Alira stood on the balcony of the Earth Research Facility, overlooking the vast expanse of space. She was excited for the day, but also anxious about what lay ahead. She had invited leaders from all over the galaxy to show them the potential for peace and collaboration. But in the shadows, danger was brewing. Meanwhile, on a distant Kaltarian warship, Varric paced angrily in his quarters. "Today we strike," he said to his loyal followers. "We cannot allow these humans to continue their charade. Once we destroy their base, we will send a message to the Council that we are not to be trifled with." His eyes gleamed with determination. The Kaltarians and Zenthari were preparing for war, and they were ready to launch a surprise attack. As the sun rose on Earth, Alira welcomed the delegates, her heart racing. She hoped this event would change minds and show everyone that humans were not a threat. Delegates from various planets, including the Zenthari and Raxal, filled the area, their expressions a mix of curiosity and skepticism. "Welcome, everyone," Alira said, her voice echoing through the crowd. "Today, we will explore our pocket dimension technology and share our vision for a peaceful future. Together, we can create a brighter galaxy." The audience clapped, but Alira could sense the unease lingering in the air. Suddenly, alarms blared and a deep rumble shook the ground. The crowd gasped in shock. "What's happening?" someone shouted, panic rising. Alira's heart sank as she realized the truth. The Kaltarian warships had arrived. Varric had decided to launch his attack before the event could take place. "Everyone, stay calm," Alira shouted, raising her hands. "We must evacuate immediately." But before they could react, beams of energy shot from the Kaltarian ships, striking the research facility. Explosions erupted, sending debris flying everywhere. The council members scattered in all directions, fear spreading like wildfire. Alira quickly led a group of delegates toward the underground shelter, urging them to follow her. "We have to get to safety," she yelled. The air was thick with smoke, and the sounds of chaos surrounded them. As they reached the shelter, Alira turned to see delegates still outside, frozen in fear. "We have to help them!" she cried. But just as she stepped back, a blast from the Kaltarian ships hit the ground nearby, knocking her off her feet. "Alira!" Dr. Kell shouted, rushing to her side. "We need to move now!" Together, they grabbed the hands of the nearest delegates and pulled them into the shelter just as another blast shook the ground. Inside, the group huddled together, trying to catch their breath. Alira looked around at the terrified faces, feeling the weight of responsibility pressing on her shoulders. "We will fight back," she said, determination flooding her voice. "Humans will not back down. We will show the Kaltarians that we will defend ourselves and our home." Alira quickly contacted her team and prepared to launch their defense systems. "We have to use our pocket dimension technology," she instructed. "If we can create a shield around the facility, we can protect ourselves and counterattack." As Alira's team scrambled to set up the defenses, the sounds of battle erupted outside. Kaltarian ships soared overhead, firing their weapons at anything in sight. Alira watched as some of the council members banded together, realizing that their only hope was to unite against the common threat. "Let's show them what we're made of," Alira shouted, rallying the delegates. They all grabbed weapons and prepared for the fight of their lives. Alira's heart raced with fear and adrenaline as she led her team to the surface. As they emerged from the shelter, the sight was overwhelming. Kaltarian ships hovered in the sky, while their soldiers stormed the facility. Alira could feel the determination of her fellow delegates as they stood shoulder to shoulder, ready to fight. "Use the pocket dimension shields," Alira ordered. With a wave of her hand, shimmering barriers appeared around them, absorbing incoming blasts. The delegates rallied together, using their weapons to push back against the Kaltarian forces. The battle raged on, with blaster fire lighting up the sky. Alira fought bravely alongside her allies, their fear transforming into courage. She could see the Kaltarians faltering, their confidence shaken by the unexpected resistance. As the dust settled and the smoke cleared, Alira realized that they were winning. The delegates, once divided by fear, had united against a common enemy. Together, they pushed back the Kaltarians, sending them retreating into the depths of space. Breathless and bruised, Alira looked around at her fellow fighters. They had faced the chaos together and emerged stronger. "We did it!" she exclaimed, pride swelling in her chest. "We fought for our home and we stood as one." But deep down, she knew that this was just the beginning. The battle had been won, but the war for understanding and unity was far from over. The dust from the battle had settled, but the air still crackled with tension. Alira stood on the steps of the research facility, looking out at the aftermath of the fight. The Galactic Council members had banded together to defend Earth, but the cost was heavy. Several delegates were injured, and the once grand facility was now in ruins. As the last of the Kaltarian ships fled, cheers erupted among the remaining delegates. They had faced the chaos together and fought side by side. Alira felt a rush of relief mixed with sadness as she surveyed the scene. Despite their victory, the reality of their situation weighed heavily on her heart. "Is everyone okay?" Alira asked, rushing to check on her fellow delegates. Dr. Kell approached, a bandage wrapped around his arm. "I'm fine, just a scratch," he replied, forcing a smile. "But we need to get everyone to safety and assess the damage." Alira nodded and gathered the council members. "We must stay united. We fought as one, and that is our greatest strength," she said, her voice strong and confident. "We need to heal and rebuild. Together we can create a new beginning for our galaxy." With that, they set to work. Alira organized teams to tend to the injured and clear the wreckage. As she moved through the crowd, she noticed a shift in the atmosphere. The delegates, once wary of each other, now shared a bond forged in battle. They worked together, laughing and encouraging one another despite the challenges they faced. Days turned into weeks as the council members collaborated to rebuild the facility. They shared stories, traditions, and laughter, creating a sense of camaraderie that had been absent before. Alira watched with pride as everyone worked tirelessly, determined to rise from the ashes of conflict. One evening, Alira gathered the council members for a meeting. "We have proven that we can stand together in times of crisis," she began, her heart full of hope. But now, we must take steps to ensure that this kind of conflict does not happen again. Let's work on creating a treaty, a pact of peace between our species. The delegates nodded in agreement, realizing that cooperation was essential for a better future. Together, they drafted a treaty that emphasized mutual respect, shared technology, and peaceful exploration. Alira felt a wave of happiness wash over her as she signed her name, knowing that they were paving the way for a brighter tomorrow. As the weeks passed, the council held a grand ceremony to celebrate their newfound unity. Delegates from all races came together, dressed in their finest attire to honor the spirit of collaboration. The atmosphere buzzed with excitement and hope. Alira stood before the crowd, her heart swelling with pride. "Today, we celebrate our new beginning," she announced. "We have faced darkness and emerged stronger than ever. Let us remember this day as a symbol of our unity and commitment to peace. Together we can explore the stars and learn from each other." Cheers erupted from the crowd, and delegates waved flags from their home planets. Alira smiled, feeling a sense of belonging that she had never felt before. They were no longer just representatives of different species, they were friends and allies. As the celebration continued, Alira spotted Varric standing at the edge of the crowd. He looked different, no longer the angry delegate from before. Instead, he seemed contemplative, as if he was reconsidering his views. Alira approached him, her heart racing. "Varric, I'm glad you're here," she said. "I hope we can move forward together." He nodded slowly, his expression thoughtful. "I was wrong about you humans," he admitted. "You showed courage and strength today. I realize now that we are stronger together." Alira smiled warmly, feeling a sense of relief. "That's the spirit!" Together we can build a future where everyone is valued. As the festivities continued, Alira couldn't help but feel that this was just the beginning. The road ahead would be filled with challenges, but they would face them together. With every shared laugh, every handshake, and every agreement, they were writing a new story for the galaxy, one of cooperation, friendship, and hope. As the stars twinkled above, Alira looked out at the gathered delegates, each one representing a piece of a larger puzzle. "This is our new beginning," she thought, filled with optimism. "Together, we will explore the universe and unlock the mysteries that await us. Together we are stronger." And with that hope in her heart, Alira embraced the dawn of a new era, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, knowing that they would face them together.